As we all know, yesterday Dembele won the Ballon d'Or. I think it's the perfect time that a day after we all cool down, talk about the top 30 and every single player was there, and which players maybe got a bit too higher, got a bit too down the list, and talk about the mistakes that the voters did in this year. So obviously 30 is Michael Ollis. I don't think that's a big problem with that. I'm kind of okay with it. Obviously, I had a pretty good year by Munich, and then at 29 the Florian Wirtz, same thing. Not really anything. 28 is Van Dijk. I think maybe is my first problem with this list, all this top 30. I think Van Dijk, the year Liverpool added to win Premier League, I think Van Dijk obviously was probably, I was like the second best player, but around those times, like maybe he was actually the second best player. I think Virgil van Dijk gets a lot more credit to that. It was an amazing attack, maybe one of the best or the best in the Premier League last year. So I think like 28 should be a little bit low for him. I think Liverpool players in general didn't really get the love also anticipating in this Ballon d'Or. Like for example, like that's not Don Fries. Obviously, like, it's a great player. I don't think it's that good to be honest with you. And I know Inter had a good year. Obviously, like they lost Serie A title the final days. They also lost Champions League title on the final. I don't think Denzel Dumfries had a better year in terms of winning trophies or in terms of like also playing football than Van Dijk did, for example. So I think maybe Denzel Dumfries got a bit too high up the list, in my opinion. Like again, McAllister, like at 22, I don't think McAllister was really a better player, or maybe he was more influential than Van Dijk was, in my opinion. I think Van Dijk probably even deserves to be ahead of McAllister, for example. But again, it's good to see McAllister gain recognition. I mean, honestly, right now, I don't see him as a best midfielder that Liverpool has. Obviously, aside from Wirtz, who just came in this summer, I think Ryan Gerbert is a better midfielder than what McAllister is right now for Liverpool. And obviously, even though he had a pretty good year at Liverpool, I think there are a lot of people that actually think the same as I do. So I think maybe 22 is a bit far stretch for McAllister. I think Van Dijk still to be higher than him, but still it's good to see McAllister get this high up on the list. Like, this is the first big problem I have with this kind of a list. 19 Sean Neves is criminal. Like, Sean Neves also with all the system that PSG had. Like, I feel like it was the massive travel, I think. Like, they won every single trophy that could imagine to win it. And Sean Neves lost out of everything at the midfield was one of the biggest reasons as to why they did what they did. Also, it was a big part of Portugal winning Nations League as well, which another boost for his case. And so I really don't know how Sean Neves, who was an amazing player for PSG, got so low in this list, like 19th. If you see some of the players they are above them, I don't think they had even a year comparable year to what Sean Neves had in terms of being influential for his team, of playing the football that he has played for PSG this year, and the season he had with both PSG and Portugal as well. I think 19th Sean Neves, I was very surprised to see him be this low. I think maybe he has a shot at being like maybe top 10 even. So I'm very surprised to see him fall this low, but again, he's an amazing player. I feel like he should be at least top 15 without a doubt. And then Vini at 16th is a very big problem I have with this list. There's no way that Vini Jr. should be ahead of like Lewandowski, should be ahead of like Sean Neves, for example. Like Vini Jr. did not have a great year, did not have a pretty good year. He didn't have like, for his standards, he had a very bad season. I also assume Jules Bellingham had a better year than what Vini Jr. did, because Vini Jr. didn't really play well with Brazil, I think, I'm pretty sure. And like in Real Madrid, we saw rumors in this summer that Real Madrid wanted to sell him. You don't see rumors about the 16th best player in the world last year, according to this list. I have rumors about his team wanting to sell him. I don't think he had a good year. Real Madrid didn't have a good year in terms of performance of the club. Also, Mbappe was kind of the standout performer in that team because he was so good, scored so many goals for Real Madrid. Vinicius did not do that. Didn't score a lot of goals, didn't assist as much as maybe he should have. So to have Vinicius at 16th, for me, I think it's a bit way too far-fetched. Again, we'll talk about like maybe the influence that the Spanish league has on this type of trophies. We saw Real Madrid and Barcelona those years. Again, I don't imagine Vini deserving to win to get the 16th spot. Also, I mean, he was in second place last year. It was amazing last year. Now Mbappe is rocked in. We saw his form, even in Brazil, decline a lot. 16th doesn't seem like the correct place for Vini to be in, and I have a very big problem with him being on this position right here. And even though I'm obviously a pretty big fan of Gyökeres, and I'm amazed to see a player who done so much for Sporting be so high placed at the Ballon d'Or list, I don't really think Gyökeres should be this high. Obviously, he's had an amazing year for us, winning both the league and the cup, which again contributes a lot. Again, a guy obviously he also scored a lot of goals for Sporting. I don't think a guy who only did this for at Sporting really deserves to be this high like as 15th. I mean, I think this like after Rui Patricio was like 2016 when he had like the amazing Euros with Ronaldo in Portugal. Obviously, I didn't see a player play at Sporting and be time of the list. Last time I think we saw a player that played in Portugal beat upon all this was Darwin Nunes from Benfica, who was around like 25th. And seeing Joker this year obviously is great. I don't think it deserves to be as high as 15th. Again, but the fact that he played in the Portuguese league, alright? It's not really a prestigious league. Obviously, I'm Portuguese, I should know this. I love my league, but I don't think it's really that prestigious or that good enough for a man. Obviously, did amazing things at Sporting. I don't really think it deserves to be at 15th. I love to see him there. I mean, I love Jokeres as a player. I love Jokeres above everything else. Maybe not. But 15th, I think, is a bit too far for him. Also, if he had done this for maybe like a top 5 team, like maybe a League 1 team, maybe it's a different conversation. But for a team like Sporting, who obviously not with the highest level of leagues, I don't really think 15th place is very well served for him. Again, Harry Kane 13th, also another one that seems like a bit of a problem for me. Harry Kane's a guy who obviously won his first title in a very long time with Bayern, the league title, which obviously doesn't really mean a lot because Bayern with the league title is very much almost guaranteed every single year. We see like a year that Leverkusen win it, where the who was it that won it? I don't remember, but Bayern usually always wins it. And see Harry Kane, who actually says here 48 goals and 14 assists for the club and country, just an amazing output offensively. And for a guy like this, who won a title, because a lot of things that was against Kane in the past, was not winning a trophy, he did win a trophy this year. I mean, this amazing output for both club and country. I think 13th is a bit too down for him. You see the players they are a little bit ahead of him. I feel like some players that could kind of gotten down to put Harry Kane a little bit higher on the list. I don't say he had a guaranteed top 10 spot. I don't think so. But like maybe that 10th, 9th to 11th range, maybe that's where I kind of expect Harry Kane to be at. Yeah, like this one, like Pedri, Barcelona, 11th, also very critical. I don't think Pedri should be even near the 11th spot. It's a guy that we're seeing this year again how incredible he is at playing football. And again, with the year Barcelona had, and we see all the abnormal and the thing are helped by it. Pedri, like, is an amazing player. I really feel like his influence to Barcelona was way bigger than maybe some borders thoughts. I think the gap between Lamine Yamal and Rafinha are located, where Pedri is located. I don't think there was a gap in terms of the football they played or the influence that all three of them had in terms of comparing each other. I think Pedri is another guy, I think it's criminal to not be in top 10. I think this guy actually had a guaranteed top 10 finish and unfortunately didn't have, which I think is again very criminal to not see him be higher of the list. At 10th, Nuno Mendes, again, another guy I have a problem with. I don't think Nuno Mendes should be this low. Nuno Mendes is the best left back in the world by a considerable gap right now. It's a player I really love. I love players who can defend at high level and attack at high level. And Nuno Mendes is a guy that does that very well. And again, PSG had an amazing year at PSG. Was maybe Portugal's best player in the Nations League. I think 10th place doesn't do him justice. I think maybe like between the 7th, I think that should be where the spot that Nuno Mendes is. Now, again, like Hakimi, I think Hakimi might be 7th or 6th. I think it's 7th. I personally would put Nuno Mendes above Hakimi. Okay, I think Nuno Mendes was more influential than Hakimi. I think he played better football than Hakimi. I think obviously top 10 is still very good for Nuno Mendes. I think it starts to be a little bit higher of the top 10, especially maybe to kind of put Hakimi a couple of spots down than what Nuno Mendes is right now. And probably this 8th spot for Palmer probably is the one thing I hate the most doing all this top 30. I was really shocked when I saw Cole Palmer get a top 10 finish, and to see him finish 8th, above Donnarumma and above Nuno Mendes, for me, is probably the biggest crime they've done in this list, right? Cole Palmer also is an incredible player. He had an amazing World Cup. I'm not going to put that against him. He did have an amazing World Cup. He did win the Conference League also with Chelsea. The 2 trophies winning with Chelsea, and a pretty good performance in the World Cup, but obviously has to weigh something. Hey, like a 15th to 20th place finish is probably what I put him in this range, maybe a little bit higher. But Cole Palmer did not play enough, or didn't play well enough to be justifiable as the 8th best player last year. Cole Palmer had a very long stretch in this year. I'm thinking like maybe 2-3 months when the year turned to the 95. That Cole Palmer really like kind of dried out in terms of scoring goals. I remember seeing so many posts, message in and message out, talking about Cole Palmer not playing well for Chelsea, not being able to bring in a goal, missing penalties and whatnot. I don't think Cole Palmer played enough for Chelsea to beat 8th best player of the team. I don't think Chelsea is even tiger of the team. We've seen now this year all Chelsea are struggling against where the teams. I don't think Cole Palmer deserves to be even near the 8th spots. I think like Harry Kane deserves more, Nunez, Donnarumma, John Neves deserves more, Petty definitely deserves more. We have so many players of the top 10 who deserve this place way more than Cole Palmer. I'm serious. When they announced like the top 10 to the number 3, which was they did before announcing the top 2 or whatever, I was fully expecting to see Cole Palmer at number 10. I was shocked by seeing him be even inside the top 10. To even see him finish 8th is even more shocking, and this is like by far I mean it, the biggest mistake they've had on this list. I don't know why some people voted Cole Palmer. Again, like popularity, Ballon D'Or is turning a bit of a popular contest. Not really fully, but some voters are just stupid, and we've seen proof of that in the last years. To see Cole Palmer at 8th, for me, I love Cole Palmer. He's an amazing player. I don't think he deserves anywhere near 8th place this year. And then we're going to the position that I think more people are talking about, Rafinha at 5th, right? I think like, again, I'm very shocked to see Rafinha at 5th, because I initially thought that he'll probably be inside top 3, and to see him finish 5th was very surprising to me, because I think in terms of like output, he was way better than Lamine Yamal. He scored way more goals, he's way more. I don't know if he plays a better football. I know a lot of people watch Barcelona. There are some games there where he kind of got away with contribution here and there that maybe didn't really represent how he played in those matches. But Rafinha is a guy that Barcelona obviously had an amazing year. Went to massive travel. Rafinha was probably their best player or second best player. To see him finish 5th is a bit disappointing. But again, I want to also already talk about it because I feel like this is a debate in a whole. So Mo Salah in 4th. Again, Mo Salah is a guy that I feel like other people are underestimating all the fear he had. We're going to talk about a Salah who won the Premier League, right? It's already amazing because that's the hardest league to win in all of world football. And Mo Salah, I don't know if other people can know this, they broke the record in the Premier League for the most goal contributions ever in a single season. So I think Mo Salah should have got a lot more recognition as a legitimate possible winner to win the Ballon d'Or. I feel like Mo Salah probably had a better argument, maybe Lamine Yamal, for example, maybe Rafinha to win the Ballon d'Or. And he had an amazing year. Would I put Mo Salah over Rafinha? Maybe. I mean, I have to think very hard about him putting Rafinha over Salah. I think the problem where this resides, right, is Vitinha being at 3rd, as it's going to show up here. Yeah, Vitinha being at 3rd, I think, kind of mess everything up. I'm saying it doesn't deserve to be 3. I think an amazing year. Maybe I think 3rd is a bit of a stretch. I think both Salah and Rafinha deserve to be above him. And if I put like maybe Dembele, I feel like is the 3rd winner. I think a lot of people can debate on that. Oh yeah, some people can very much debate on that. But winning all, yeah, with PSG, probably being their best player, for sure he was the best player. Finishing 1st, I mean, it's just, I think it is well deserved. And like the storyline that he had just makes it even better. And everything there obviously makes sense. Maybe as I'm about Lamine Yamal not being 2nd, I think there is a debate to be had about Lamine Yamal not being 2nd, right? Lamine Yamal 2nd place. I think there is very much debate to be had about both Rafinha and Salah being higher than Lamine Yamal. So I mean, I think Dembele for sure, like the number 1 spot was his for me since the beginning. I think Vitinha probably should have gone the number 5 spot in my opinion. And then I feel like it was very interchangeable between Salah, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal. I think those 3 should have been undisputable 2, 3, and 4, right? Now, where I put Salah over Rafinha, I don't know, man, because I think because Liverpool went out so early in Champions League against PSG, won the Champions League by the way, and they went out on penalties, so not really like embarrassing loss. But Salah did not really play very well against PSG, so I think I'll put Salah 4th. I'll probably put Rafinha 3rd and Yamal 2nd, because like obviously like Yamal does have output, he have a comparable output to what maybe Rafinha had. But in terms of football play, the types of performances that Yamal was having in like the semi-finals and whatever, and the quarterfinals, I think you were better than Rafinha in those games. So I think I'll put Yamal 2nd, Rafinha 3rd, and then Salah 4th. I feel like that's say Salah where he is, not Salah, yeah, say Salah where he is, move Rafinha up to 3rd, and Vitinha up to 5th. But again, I don't think this, like, a lot of people are kind of mad about it, and seeing Rafinha finish so low. I'm gonna be honest with yourselves, I don't think it matters. I don't think like a month from now we're gonna remember Rafinha being 5th in the Ballon d'Or list, right? I think what really matters in the end is Dembele winning it and whoever won it. Because do you remember who finished top 5 last year? Because I don't. I have no idea who was top 5 last year. I know Cody won it and Vini was second place. That's all I know. So I don't think it is time to be of debate. I see a lot of people kind of take some missed to Ballon d'Or as well, which kind of makes sense in my opinion. But at the same time, like, just like it be. A lot of people call it popularity contest. I don't really agree with that in a sense, because if there was a popularity contest, Lamine Yamal probably win it, because we're more famous than Lamine Yamal. However, I do think that Ballon d'Or has to kind of sort out the voting a little bit better, because there's a lot of problems with that, honestly. There's a lot of like proof that comes like every single year that like people have, because like the way it works is like the top 100 countries in FIFA or in the world have one journalist, and that journalist votes for the top 10 they think it should be top 10. And a lot of times the journalists aren't really good. I think so last year like journalists who voted for Mbappe out of top 10 like resigned from the spot because he voted that. So I feel like there should be a way better structure behind it. Let the fans vote like after vote like the fans, and then like not after vote would be like a journalist that's voted by I don't know I thought it was a Brazilian influencer who did that. Yeah, it was a Brazilian influencer that did that video. Like maybe like the whole country votes on the shortlist to vote for the top 10 Ballon d'Or. So have that, and then have like the manager for each international team. But yeah, like the managers a lot of times are a bit biased. So maybe let's half by the fans and half by the journalists, or like 1/3 the fans and 2/3 of the journalists. I think the fans should have had a higher voice, because a lot of times like journalists that we talk about, they are been able to vote. Are probably better suited to, are less suited to vote than some of the people they are on Twitter talking, right? Like I think Gosden was like the Montenegro journalist, I think, to the Ballon d'Or. I think that's true, by the way. Don't quote me on that. If it is, I don't really trust Gosden to do a great top 10 votes for the Ballon d'Or, you know. So I feel like the system of voting should be way better. Again, I think the debates that a lot of people are having just like a little bit too much. I think just seeing Dembele win Ballon d'Or things amazing. The storyline, the scenes last year, like after the party and like what we're announcing it, like seeing all the people chant, "Hey, it's Ballon d'Or!" Like, it was amazing to see. So I think like other people are putting way too much thought about it. I don't think it really matters. So I mean, that's my opinion.